Some of the best hacks I use in my craft room have come from my friends. I was thinking we could both share 5 of our favorite hacks from friends.
What a great idea, let's do that! And with our videos combined, people will have 10 hacks that they can try to see how they work in their crafting.
Let's get started. This hack uses something you probably have in your kitchen junk drawer, packing tape, to create the look of glossy cardstock or clear heat embossing. This hack came from my friend Katya, and she's got a lot more clever hacks in her videos. Here I've swinked some ink onto some white cardstock, spritzed it with shimmer spray for some sparkle and texture, and now I'm simply adding packing tape over top. Then I'm good to die cut my numbers and strips for these graduation cards I made for these kids in their school colors. This one's another way to get a glossy, sparkly look, and it comes from my friend Carly. It involves putting Nouveau Crystal Glaze onto your die cut. This adds a bit of dimension as well as a high gloss shine. This glaze is similar to glossy accents, but I find it easier to work with. It's a little more runny, and that means you need to be careful not to put too much down too quickly, but I've never had it clog in the nozzle, so that's a real plus. And when you sprinkle chunky iridescent glitter over top, you get a real wow factor, especially on black cardstock. It also looks fabulous on white cardstock, and you can easily customize the look by changing up the cardstock or the glitter you use. Just be sure to let it dry completely before you touch it. So what do you think so far? Pretty clever, right?
Wow, these are amazing! I'm going to give some of these a try. I think you'll love the ones in my video too.
I can't wait. I'll put a link to your video at the end of this one, so it's easy for people to hop over and continue learning about all these amazing hacks. This one's a combination of 2 hacks. A while ago, Jennifer McGuire talked about the sandwich she uses for her die cutting machine, and she had taped some of her plates together so that there were fewer pieces in her sandwich. I don't use the same sandwich, but that video encouraged me to open my mind and experiment with my various plates until I found something that I've now been using for quite a while. And now I use 2 Sizzix plates taped together as my top plate and 1 Gemini Junior plate as my cutting plate. Mixing and matching is absolutely not recommended by any of the manufacturers, so you need to be careful if you experiment like this, but this has been working for me. And part B of this tip is the simplest trick ever to keep your cutting plate flat. It came from a friend that I haven't met yet. First, you lay your plate down on your desk, press it in the center. If it gives, flip it over and cut into the concave side. It's that simple. This saves you having to try and keep track of which side you're cutting into, and it's made a big difference in the life of my cutting plates. This tip won't fix plates that are already too warped, but it's an easy habit to start when you treat yourself to a new cutting plate. You can see that even though my plate is well used and it's even cracking, it's pretty much flat. Using these 2 hacks together has made my frustration with my plates pretty much disappear. After years of thinking that I needed to work on an absorbent surface when coloring with Copic markers, I noticed that amber works on glass. I thought I would give it a try, and I loved it immediately. It got easier to blend colors because they stay wet longer. I guess because they're not soaking into the paper behind. I did find, though, that it's also easier for the inks to bleed outside the lines a bit, so I'm a little more careful about that while I color. This one is brand new, involves another kitchen supply, and comes from another friend I haven't met yet, Nina Marie. She noticed that the Scotch foam tape has changed formula, and it's thinner, stretchier, and more sticky than it used to be. If you're cutting narrower strips, it can gum up your scissors, and it's just difficult to work with. Although looking at this, I'm thinking if you can stretch it, you can get more out of a roll. I'll have to give that a try. Nina Marie put her tape on some wax paper and cut it with scissors. I don't have any wax paper, so I tried this parchment paper, and it works perfectly. It gives the tape more stability for cutting, but it still releases easily when you're ready to use it. When the Misty came along, it changed how we stamp, but it also changed stamp cleaning. Back when I used wooden stamps or acrylic blocks, I loved my stamp scrubber, but you have to take the stamp to that. Using a Misty means you want to bring the cleaner to the stamp. I've never really liked the feeling of a wet chamois, and I feel like baby wipes work well, but they're kind of wasteful. Maybe I'm the only one, I don't know. Anyway, I invented this little stamp cleaner with an old acrylic block and a piece of an old Stampin' Up! Stamp scrubber and some strong adhesive. I measured the block and then cut the scrubber with scissors, put the tape on the back, and now I can spritz it with stamp cleaner and I'm good to go. I'd love to hear what your favorite hacks are. Let me know in the comments below. And Gerry's got 5 more clever hacks to show you. Use the link right here to head over to her channel. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Ooh, I love my crafty hacks from my friends. Yeah, you gotta try the crafty hacks from my friends.